Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you guys hear stuff in the background, my kids are up, so there's that. And this one, she was just napping, and every time I sit down to record, she wakes right up. It's like she just knows. So today's video is going to be on my TBR for January. I was really deciding not to do this video just because I'm not really I'm a mood reader, so I don't ever have a list of books I'm going to read. I kind of just go off of just whatever I'm feeling or whatever I see, whatever book catches my attention. But this month I decided I will attempt to stick just to my TBR. I already kind of went off and just added books to it. But since this is a pretty long list, I will just jump right into it and yeah, just tell you the books that I'm going to be reading this month. My first book that I have on my TBR that I still haven't got to this month yet is In Fury Lies Mischief by E.M.Moore. I talked about this in another video, so I'm not going to go too in depth about it. If you know who E.M.Moore is and you read her books, then you know all her books are super dark and super twisted, and I love that, so I'm excited to read that one. The next one I have that I did already read this month is Regretting You by Colleen Hoover. This one was super good. I enjoyed it. Has two points of views between Morgan and Clara, who's her daughter. The story basically starts off in Morgan's past. She ends up marrying her high school sweetheart, so to say, and she ends up pregnant at 17, so that's why we have then Claire's point of view in the present time as well. This book has a lot of deception. Some hard truths come out. It's just heartbreaking and wholesome. I feel like at the end you just see her pick herself up and become a better person, and you see Clara grow along the way. I mean, at the beginning she was kind of just being rebellious, and after she finds out something big that happens and changes her life, she becomes rebellious and she gives her mom a really hard time, and she ends up getting a boyfriend and ends up putting him in these weird positions where her mother just doesn't think he's good enough for her or isn't a good boy at all, and it kind of just goes along through that. But anyways, you see Morgan and Claire's hardship that they go through. They grow together, and it's just, I thought it was a really well written story. I cried in this one. The next one that I read that I'm currently reading is Merciless by W. Winter, and so I started this one and I haven't quite finished this. I feel like it's kind of like he's a drug lord. So he's a drug lord, and there's about to be a war between, I want to say, mafia people, two big mafia groups, and his land that he kind of, his territory, I should say, is in between the two. So he has to decide which basically side he goes to. He decides, obviously at the beginning, you see who he decides to go with, but his only request is that they kidnap the other mafia boss, whatever, his daughter, and he wants her for himself. And that's currently what the story is about. It's going to be about, I'm pretty sure, like what happens between them two. So I stopped reading that one just because I wasn't in the mood for it, and I went on to something else, but I'm hoping to finish that here soon in a couple days. One is Pretty Lies by R.E.Bond. I did already read this one this month. I think I'm just going to do a whole video of books that I did end up reading, so I'm just going to go through the list and kind of just say them instead of saying I already read this one this month. I'm just going to do like a whole separate video of books then that I did get to in the month of January then at the end of this month. I read Pretty Lies. This is a reverse harem book, and it was freaking badass. If you don't know what a reverse harem is, I'm actually doing a series on here because I read so many books of them. I did put one part out, and the next I'm gonna end up putting another one out. If I think so far that's the one who, out of all my booktube videos, that's the one that has the most views. And I feel like a lot of people don't read reverse harem books, and I'm all for that. I'm trying to put you guys on. So anyways, this one is about Rory. I believe her real name's Aurora, but she goes by Rory. Her dad is a piece of shit. Let's put it out there. Her dad's a piece of shit. She doesn't get along with him, but right away off the bat, he abuses her. He uses her. So obviously she has no respect for him. She doesn't care for him at all. He ends up telling her that they're moving in with his girlfriend, and that she's gonna go meet him right now or something like that. That's how the story starts. Like, she's gonna go meet them. Basically, she gets there, he's telling her like she needs to be on her best behavior, and she's not about that either. And she tells the like wife that she can do better, well, the girlfriend, that she could do better than him, and how he's just mooching off her money, and once the money's gone, he's gonna be gone, and she's just trying to warn him off or whatever. Anyway, she has a son named Caden, and then Caden has 3 best friends, Jensen, Lucas, and Tyler. And basically his plan is to basically kind of like, you know, bring her in, you know, kiss her a little, you know, get her to not get her fall in love, but like kind of just get her close enough to get her secret so that he can out her then to the whole school then, basically. And that doesn't go to plan as he thought it was, because throughout this whole thing she's falling for all of them. And yeah, it just gets really good, and twists and dirty secrets come out that you're just like, ah, what the hell did I just read? This is just such a good story. I liked it. There's like, I think so far, I think she only released 4 books out of this, and I only read the first one. I plan on reading the next 3, and I'm all for this. I'm all for the reverse harem trope, because I'm all for that. I like that. Next book on the list is Tell Me to Stop by Charlotte Bride, something like that. And let me tell y'all, I seen this on Amazon and I was like, I want to read it. It kind of reminded me about the 365 days, that movie on Netflix, because that's basically what the description described to me in one thing. So he basically kidnaps a girl, I think, and he tells her that she has 365 days to fall in love with him. So I don't know if this book is the movie. I'm not sure. I don't know. But that's basically what I got off of the book description in the back of it. And I was all for that. And I'm like, yep, reading it. That's my trope. Kidnapping and falling in love. I'm all for that. I'm all for that. And I'm excited to read that one as well. Then the next one I have is The Golden Boys by Rachel Jonas and Nikki Thorne. And I'm not really sure what this is about, but I think it's like a high school bad boy type thing. I'm not really sure. I could be totally off. I don't know. I'm just gonna jump right into it. I like the covers, so I was like, I'm gonna read this one this month, and I bought it on Kindle. Next one is This Fearless Girl by E.M.Moore. This is a trilogy, I believe. I read the first one, and it's about, she lives in this small town in Arizona, and her father is kind of like a gold hunter or something like that. They hunt treasure in the mountains near them, something along the lines like that. And her family is very well known for that. Nobody likes her. She's poor because of it, but like it goes back in like her generations. So she plans on doing that whenever her father or whatever, you know, whenever he's done with that. But she doesn't even get to that point because her father ends up going missing while he's in the mountains looking for the treasure. And then from there, it just gets crazy. There's another her other competition, which is like the Stones or something along those lines. I could be totally wrong. I think they're called the Stones. Their last names are the Stones. And they kind of want to rope her in to try to get her to help them find the treasure, because she's getting harassed now, getting notes and different things like that from someone that she has no clue who it's about, saying that if she finds the treasure, she'll find her father. Meanwhile, Stones he has a son, and then he has 2 best friends, and basically they've all known each other since they were younger, but they never really talked to her, and they're kind of just all falling in love with one another. But there's so much more that goes into it, because his father, Stone's father, is a fucking douchebag. Don't care what anybody says. He's a douchebag. And yeah, so a lot of drama in that as well. And that one's a reverse harem as well, because she ends up falling in love with all of them. This one is Reaper by K.L Savage. This is I think this is the Ruthless Kings MC series, and that's the first, I believe Reaper is the first book, and that's the first one I read. He's the president. He ends up falling in love with his, I want to say it's his best friend's daughter, but he ended up raising her since she was around 16, falling in love with her, and he's just waiting until she turns 18 so that they can actually make it official. And then through all out this, there's a threat out there that's coming for her, and he's trying to figure out like exactly like how she is connected to this threat, and it's just crazy, and it was really good. It was a quick read too. Next one I want to read is Violent Delights by Jessica Hawkins. This is, I haven't even read the back of this. I just heard so many good things about it that I just want to read it. It's supposed to be a mafia romance along that line, and I'm excited. I have no clue. I'm just going to jump right into it. I have no clue what it's about. Then, next one is Stone Cold Queen by Lucy Smokes. If you have not read the first one, Little Savages, go read it. So it kind of just is a continuation of the first one. I'll just tell you a little what the first one's about. Basically, this is about Avalon and Dean, Braxton Abel. This is not a reverse harem, even though I really wish this book was. I could see her falling in love with all of them, but that's not the case. So Avalon comes from a trailer park. Her mother's poor, but her mother's a piece of shit. And basically, her mother is a prostitute, sells herself for money, and at some point in age, she thought that it would be a good idea for Avalon to start giving it up so that she can bring in money to help them. And from there, after her mom tries to sneak guys into her room, she kind of just starts fighting off and kind of rebelling and not giving a shit what her mom says. Obviously deep down inside she's always going to care for her mom because that's her mom, but she's kind of just like, no, that's not happening. Anyways, she ends up getting in a fight at school. They end up kicking her out. It's her senior year, and this recruiter comes into town and tells her about East Point University, basically. So basically she'll still be a senior, but she's going to be taking college credits, and they kind of just help her graduate, something along those lines. And little does she know, when she gets to East Point, the three top dogs that basically run the school, own the school, are Dean, Braxton Abel. They just rebels against them and doesn't give a shit what they say. And she's just an alpha fucking female, let me tell you. She puts them in their place. They did not expect anything from her. But anyways, they keep on trying to, like, their fathers say to keep a close eye on her because she's very important, and they just don't know why she's very important at this time. And we still haven't really figured out why she's very important. But anyways, people that they recruit to go to that school, they end up working for them in the future. So it's like, it's just really, really good. Really good, and a lot of drama happens in it. One just is a continuation of it, so it's just badass. I will tell you what the second one's about, but I feel like it will give away the first one, whatever happens in the first one. So next book I want to mention is 1,000 Boy Kisses by Tillie Cole. Tillie Cole. I need to say anything because I think so many people have already read this book, but I already read it, and I just kind of just jumped right into it without knowing exactly what it was about. And when I say this book broke my heart, it broke my heart. Put it back together, broke it again, and I cried basically the whole book, literally. This one had me in tears, like sobbing, like I was dying basically. It was so heartbreaking. Their love was beautiful. Next one on the list is Knocked Up by the Mob Boss by Nicole Fox, and that's just a mafia romance as well. And the next one I have on the list is The Truth About Heartbreak by B. Celeste. I believe it's like she falls in love with her brother's best friend, and that's all I really know about that one. Next one I have is Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. I probably don't have to say much on that, but yeah, no, I haven't read it yet, and I'm planning on reading it. Then one book that I want to finish this month is Preach by Stylo Fantome. I finished the first one, which is Church, so I just want to finish the second one now. It's just a continuation of Church. But guys, that's all the books so far that I want to read this month. If there is a series in here, I'll probably, if I get finished with this, I'll probably just continue that series then until the end of the month. And I'll probably add more to the list since I read so much. Leave down below books that you guys will be reading this month, and maybe I'll check them out if I get done with my list. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!